Hello, Chosen. Welcome back to my channel. The purpose of this video is to bring clarity to those members of the elect who may be drawn to tarot and the meanings behind the imagery and energy, especially as they relate to your own personal spiritual awakening. I offer only one perspective, and tarot is open to as many interpretations as there are personal interactions. So I thank you for your time and attention in considering mine. I also encourage you to check out my introductory video to this series, which I will link in the description box below, as it may help explain why and how you find yourself sharing your company with me. Either way, I'm grateful for you, and I'll keep this as brief as possible. So let's begin. Here, I'll be talking about the Hanged Man, Death, and Temperance, numbered 12, 13, and 14. A man is suspended upside down from a living cross, attached at the ankle in a way that is somehow both loose and firm. His posture is relaxed, with one leg bent at the knee and both arms held comfortably behind his back. His hair streams out underneath him, and his head is haloed by a brilliant circle of light. The entire scene brings to mind suspended animation, but is also reminiscent of the Fool captured in the middle of his fall. What the Hanged Man teaches is acceptance of your current position in this awakening of your person and purpose, and acceptance of the transformation that you are undergoing and the illumination that you are receiving. It allows for the realization of you as anointed and chosen message and messenger of the divine. It solidifies and sustains you, which leads to an acceptance of your eventual actualization. This is an energy of temporarily halted motion to allow for enlightenment. The delay can be divinely imposed, not as a punishment, but a nudge to take a moment and reflect on the concepts you've been shown. There is always something new to learn. This also makes the Hanged Man the energy of perspective, and especially a change in perspective because of a shift in perception. You have been in a constant state of flux, so it's an invitation to rest, to allow for whatever needs catching up in this new reality. So much of what is transpiring is mental, emotional, and spiritual, and may need divine timing to manifest in the material, which is made so much slower by its density. The Hanged Man is a pause given to allow what is in heaven to reach earth. That which is old will be made new. What was born will die to experience a rebirth. He asks you to stop and first be proud of yourself and what you've already accomplished, in changing what needed it and strengthening what didn't. While this journey isn't finished, in fact will never really be finished, you learn here to take the victories as they come, to stop and savor the triumphs. It's okay to rest on your laurels and recover until it's time to re-enter the fray. In this image of death, a skeleton in full armor carries a banner displaying the mystic rose, a symbol for life, which at first seems a paradox. Its faceplate is up because its face will be the last thing you see. The horse that carries it is as much death as its rider is, the vehicle which carries it to your fate. It never tires, simply marches on, and its step is a surety. Larger than life, it dwarfs those it moves towards. The king has already been passed and lies in state, his crown ground into the dirt under the horse's hoof. All that he has meant to the world has been taken from him, and he from them. He can offer no protection to those he's left behind. The priest pleads and the woman weeps, for both herself and her child. The priest is simply now a man in robes, his staff as his authority, long abandoned at his feet. The child on its knees holds a bouquet of flowers. It is the only one who seems to wait, as if it's expectant of its fate. In the water below them sails a ship, at mercy to the current just as they are. It is their dreams, hopes, and expectations passing them by, and perhaps yours, now on their way to safe harbor. The cliffs in the foreground rise and reveal that they are the end of a path to a new beginning. Two towers standing as witness to the movement of the sun, which both rises and sets on the horizon. It represents the dual nature of death, how beginnings make way for endings, and how endings give rise to new beginnings. As a setting sun, it represents the dark night of the soul. The watchtowers of your consciousness stand sentinel to the changes and endings of old belief systems that fall as night does. They are constant, just as your consciousness is, and will now stand witness to your rising as the sun. Death teaches the nature of certainty rather than finality. It is for this reason that it holds the mystic rose, life in the midst of death. While on this journey, you are presented with the scope of your life to bring an end to what no longer serves you, to that which can now only hold you back. It is ecdysis, the shedding of skin that has long been too tight, too small to hold the absolute majesty that you truly are. With death often comes mourning, which can and should be used as a catharsis, a cleansing of old energies to allow for new. While grieving is natural and necessary, it holds its own energy of movement and flow, to be experienced and then released. You can't remain stuck in it. Don't wallow. It's more river than quicksand, and it was never meant to swallow you in its dark depth. It's often hardest to do what may seem like an abandonment of who you are, but there is nothing of your true self you lose, only your limitations. Death is nature versus nurture, the abandonment of what you may have nurtured in your bid to survive, to allow for what is in your nature to thrive. As shown in the image, there is no reasoning with death, no blustering or bargaining. It moves forward always, and its touch reaches as far as ever. It misses never. You can never retreat once you've been awakened, only move forward as death does. So face it with the same quiet certainty with which death comes for you. Use its energy as inevitability of action, thought, and feeling to create your new reality. In Temperance, a path stretches past the cliffs and the towers, winding through mountains and fields to stop at a pool. Both on its banks and in its water stands an angel, with 1 foot in each. It is the grounding and joining of 2 separate elements, 2 separate worlds, that of the spirit and flesh. The sun on the forehead mirrors the sun on the path, rising after darkest night to behold a cleansed soul ready for reunion with the body. The triangle and square may represent the 7 gifts that you have obtained on a path that seems to go on forever, the gifts detailed in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2. These are named as the gifts of divinity, wisdom, understanding, counsel, power, knowledge, and fear of the Lord. Here, fear is the total respect and understanding for 7 of the ways in which the Most High exceeds the power of those gifts in its regard of you. Altogether, there are 7 attributes of love, especially divine love. Temperance is also the acknowledgement of the actions of your spiritual team, those spiritual and celestial beings that accompany you all your days and usher you into eternity. They are the ones who also lived a human existence and can now offer experience, as well as the beings who stayed behind in heaven to provide an aerial view and remind you of your divinity. They help to temper you too, so show gratitude for their walk with you. Celebrate them as they do you, and then watch just how they smile for you. Going back to the image, the angel holds 2 cups of water, one poured into the other, here to teach you the energy of fusion, the new bonds that will be built after the old ones have been cut away by death. It is the cleansing and renewal of consciousness to be bonded to a new future. The water that the angel dips its foot in is clear. That its foot is able to break the surface makes it mutable, changeable, while the earth it stands on is fixed or solid. This is you as the seed of the Empress and Emperor, being planted in earth and nourished by water under the warmth of the sun to emerge into the air as an elemental child of spirit. Here you are clear of purpose and pure of person. With flow comes change, and now earth and water become the 2 cups themselves, transmuted into similar elements that, while still separate and individual, are made compatible. Now they are able to recognize and attract each other, pour into each other in an effort to share and collaborate. Lastly, temperance is the action of tempering, as of steel. The tempering process is a heat treatment that reduces the potential of fractures within a subject so that when hardened, does not become brittle, which is how temperance teaches pliability. This is you, forged in fire, made flexible, and now stronger for it. If the information you find in this video is helpful or interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd like to know how many I can count as members of my tribe, and you can help me reach as many people as possible that could benefit from the message. We'll speak again soon, so bye for now.